Welcome to another episode of Turtle Wave Podcast, and today we're gonna talk about some interesting things. We're gonna get into a little bit of past trauma, a little bit of struggles and how we overcome those struggles and those walls. We just had a really nice conversation recently with a good friend of ours, and he let us in on some of his experiences, and that kind of got us in the mood. So we want to just delve into some of our life experiences that kind of got us here.
This podcast is brought to you by Prince William County H2O. Fulfilling your thirst, single family house at a time.
Talking about thirst.
We're talking about
we
thirst.
Are thirsty masters.
Thirsty masters.
Oh, man, did we talk about thirst?
We never talk about thirsty masters. We can talk about thirsty masters.
Yeah.
That could be a more fun topic to get into before we go into the depressing shit.
It would be more fun, but I don't know. I'm still feeling the weight of that.
You're still. I know. It's very hard to just come back from.
Yeah.
But like, dude, man, clear your mind. Let's zen everybody.
All right.
And now here we are, back at Alex's basement at 1 a.m.
Actually,
nothing sus.
What I want to say is that we got Joseph back again. So this is like,
in person.
Yeah.
It's always good to have you rather than trying to figure out how to get this to work over online.
I had the privilege of showing my the first full cut of my horror film to these guys and got their raw reactions.
Yeah.
But yeah, you can possibly find my film in film festivals next year. It was my first time working with an intimacy coordinator, and I had to admit it was a lot scarier, and I was a bit nervous, more so than working with stunts.
Wow.
Yeah.
I didn't know there was an intimacy coordinator. That's kind of crazy.
And actually, they repeat the word choreography a lot on set. So
that's what I say.
Imagine action design, but with
Love
implied sex. Yeah, love making. Yeah. And so it was very difficult directing these actors in a claustrophobic space, telling them to get scared and turned on, and
do they have to be turned on
to
do the acting, or can they just act turn on? Is it like, hey man, think about that time, or
I don't know. It's like these discussions that the actors only talk with the intimacy coordinator. Like I kind of tell the intimacy coordinator what I generally want from this scene, the emotional through line, and then the intimacy coordinator choreographs with the actors
to help protect the personal space of the actors themselves.
Yeah, so it's like, okay, like first beat, grab the throat, and then second beat, grab the breast. So and then third beat, like you turn her over, and
Wow, so there's actually like a
it's like a rhythm.
Sequence. There's a sequence.
Wow, see, that's real choreography. Okay.
Yeah,
and I guess it helps kind of give you like what the certain things you want to convey certain feelings, and then the intimacy coordinator helps coordinate with each actor on like how to express those uncomfortable ways with each other.
So exactly. Okay. Yeah.
Wow.
Just like action design, you have to build suspense, and show the power struggle between the two characters. There's also that in the intimacy sense.
You're telling a story, you're not just doing stuff.
Yeah. So
that's very interesting.
So it was quite the experience, and I have 2 weeks left to submit it to the film festival. So I'm just like glad I'm here in Virginia, spending time with family, and also like editing and getting raw feedback from friends who really do care.
We had a fun reaction to the video.
The movie isn't totally finished, so maybe we'll do another one when it's more polished.
Yeah. But I appreciate you guys taking a close look and giving me some really great suggestions. I always depend on you guys for being fully honest.
Because the earlier conversation that we had that kind of got us into this mood actually fits, I think, a lot with your kind of thesis for your Out About It movie, right?
Yeah.
How you got to
my
it. You want to
thesis,
talk about that?
Yeah. So the way I came up with this idea for my horror short film is not that I just wanted to create something scary, but I wanted to address the main issues and fears I had living in LA in the past 2 years, which is being taken advantage of and having my boundaries constantly being crossed in different ways. And I'm continuously trying to find ways to identify like gaslighting and stuff like that. And then like as I'm opening up more about this topic to other people in the industry, they tell me stories about, crazy stuff that happens in stunts. And there's one female stunt performer who told me like a coordinator took her to a church parking lot and said that if she would suck his, that he would give her $50K to be a part of this movie.
Wow.
Wow,
That's
Yeah.
This is Weinstein
Okay,
Jr. or something.
right.
Yeah.
Like,
And just like a lot of times when I'm talking to an actress and then she's like, yeah, stunts, yeah. And then I see like something like wrong. I'm like, okay, you want to talk about it? And then she's like, yeah, I was having dinner with a stunt coordinator and he told me to look underneath the table and he had his, his thing out. Yeah.
What?
And he was like stroking it. Yeah. And then he was just saying like, yeah, but I can like, I'm really good with this producer and then that producer and I can get you in the movie.
So it's not just Harvey Weinstein, it's everybody.
Yeah,
That's
it's
crazy.
a lot of people. And then I would go on Instagram and then seeing those same people in like my mutual friends' videos. I'm like, wow, do they know about that story? And, I want to say something, but also like there's no evidence and I don't know who's like telling the truth. Like I don't know both sides. So I just hear a lot of these stories and I'm like, I can't really say it out loud. Like I
Because
can't.
you don't have hard evidence to really.
Right. Yeah. And I've like have friends who were accused of things and it was like all completely false. Like, so
Oh yeah.
cancel culture, but also like, so one way to address this fear is just to make a film about it, make art and like cultivate like kind of like a creative crew who have had similar experiences and we get to figure out this fear together and like express our frustration and so
start the conversation.
right and really subvert a lot of the generic horror tropes that I've been seeing in like feature films. So
Yeah, maybe we can. So, what are some of the tropes that you've been seeing in these horror movies that you're trying to subvert? Because I've seen some too. So I was just wondering what stuff that you were like, oh, they keep doing that stuff.
yeah, without spoiling the movie, like usually when there's like a sex scene with like a hot girl in like a horror movie, you know that she's gonna die.
Yeah.
But something different happens in my film where she goes through like this out of body experience.
I was waiting for you to say that.
Right.
Wait for it.
You don't want to talk too much about it, but
It is very good. I like it for a different reason, but we'll talk about that later.
Oh, white girl.
AMWM.
I'm still my parents might listen to this, man. Come on, dude.
Hey, man.
There's like Tim. Tim, what are you doing with your friends?
Do they know your preferences at this point?
Yeah. I mean,
but it was actually a crazy story how I found the main Curtis.
The lead?
Yeah.
Or one of the leads?
Yeah, the guy who played the guy.
okay.
Of course.
So I was like developing the story with Ryan, the writer of this film, and I went to a random like Asian dinner networking event, and then I sat with a bunch of like Asian actors, and then they're like, "Oh, Joseph, what are you working on?" And it was like the first time that I was pitching out loud the movie idea, and then the person sitting right next to me was Curtis Lum. And he was just like really into the idea, and we just kept talking that night. And he sent in his audition tape, and then I sent out the casting call, and then I watched a couple other like 30 submissions for other male actors, but his still remained the best out of all of them.
Yeah, so. I remember I was there. Like I think caught most of like when you guys were watching the auditions over like what, Zoom or something.
Yeah.
And like I thought like it's like out of all of them, it's like I really felt like Curtis was the best one.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, like the most well-rounded for sure for that role.
Mm-hmm. It was tough. Like it was also tough casting for the main actress role of Lily. Yeah.
Curtis was amazing, by the way. I just like he look, I don't know if we can preface anymore. No homo, but dude's really handsome. Right, he's really good looking.
Yeah.
And his acting is really good. He just brought he brought the appropriate energy to the role. So shout out to Curtis. I liked it. It was good.
Yeah, it's actually I'm very like it's crazy to hear about like hey I'm casting and whatever because it just brings me back to the back to the times when we were making films and you're just like oh yeah who's free Joseph, you want to play
Right.
this?
Yeah,
Like,
yeah.
Hey, Alex, you want to play this? All right, let's go.
Yeah,
And now we're just like, oh, we're actually
the whole idea of cast,
Yeah.
just searching for
crazy,
casting.
Dude, it was the
Yeah.
first time I did a casting call, and it was such a crazy process. Like, I kept getting like 70 emails per day, and like agents like emailing, and like actors emailing.
Wait, so how are you sending these out? Like, how do you tell people you're casting? And like, what is the like how
Process.
they
Dude,
yeah? What's
There's
the
like
process?
multiple. Well,
yeah,
I'm
so
sure
there's
it's
like
different in LA.
a website. I think I forgot what it's called, but it's like casting blah blah blah, like something like typical.
It's like a, I
get
guess
those
it's like a
emails
direct. It's kind of
sometimes,
like a
actually.
kind of like a. It's like Yellow Pages, but for I
Backstage
don't know.
casting, I think, or
That's like that's
something
sort of
like
an
that. I
example.
applied to
Yeah.
that, but like the application process was so antiquated and it was so long. All the forms were long, so I was just like, screw it. I'm just gonna post on Instagram because Team Red has over 100K followers, and I'm gonna find
Oh,
some.
okay.
Shout out to
Oh,
Team Red.
the Team-
Team Red Pro.
Where's the Team Red Flex counter?
Right, right.
I
Didn't
mean,
know
we're
we
all
big
one
dick swinging
family.
already.
We're all one family, you know. It wouldn't be Team Red without Turtle Wave. Just remember.
Yeah.
Yeah, this
Yeah,
is
that's why you're Raphael.
Oh yeah, yeah. This is a Turtle Wave is the springboard for other hopefully other creators come in and be like, I'm here to promote my thing.
Right.
Yeah, when we make it big, that's what we're gonna be.
We're just here to sponsor people
Right.
at this point.
And also
We
looking
just
for,
sold out.
Also looking for sponsors. So
Yeah.
you know, HelloFresh, please
Yeah.
give us a
But-
call.
Right.
This podcast is brought to you by Square. No, I'm just.
Right.
But yeah,
NordVPN,
like
Express, something.
Hey, they ain't paying us right now.
Don't say it for free.
Yeah, don't
Don't say it for
they
free.
might listen and offer us. Something.
Yeah,
Yeah, who knows?
Yeah.
We got
But
the juice.
you know where
we
to
got,
send
we
the
got
check.
the background. We got the juicy details of things.
But casting was interesting, and initially the protagonist character was originally a male instead of a female.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
And originally, as I was talking about the story to other people, they said it would hit harder if I did a gender swap and have the protagonist be a woman.
It makes so much more sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way that you had it.
Because it's more, I feel like, relevant to the, like, it's more realistic. More women are still actually dealing with these issues.
Yeah.
Men do deal with it, but not nearly
Yeah.
as much. I think it
Agreed.
speaks more to, like, the current issue. You know, you have a lot more men being pressuring for, you know, pressing the boundaries, pressing for sex, pressing for certain
Yeah.
types of intimacy.
And
So-
That goes unwarranted.
Yeah.
You basically put it up on a website, like, here's my project, and I'm looking for this, this, and this.
Oh, on Instagram. Yeah.
Oh, on Instagram.
And then
Okay.
people would like comment on the story, and I put the email, Team Red email in there, and people were replying.
That's
So they
what's
were
up.
going. So they were going through that.
Yeah, it
So-
was a lot. We got
This is
probably
really
over
effect-
100 people.
Really, so it was really
Wow.
effective. It sounds like.
Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Super effective. One could say.
But yeah,
Pokemon.
so the themes, it hit harder with a female protagonist, and I felt a little guilty because being written by a man, directed by a man, and I was like, okay, if we're gonna have like, a female protagonist, I need to have a more female in the. Why am I saying females a lot? I feel like I'm Joe
Women?
Rogan. Like women. Yeah.
Women,
Right.
women amongst
See,
the production
because
crew.
I'm a product of my environment. I'm conditioned this way, and basically, also like the male gaze in Hollywood films. It's like such a common trope that actually in my film, when there's like the quote unquote like gazing scenes, it's actually more horrific than like kind of like a turn on thing.
No, it's very.
So you're
dude,
trying to go more into the horror.
Yeah, I'm trying to flip it.
The way that you showed those scenes is like, no, this is not the mood for that.
Yeah,
Which is very the atmosphere is already set so that you don't. None of us we're not like thinking that way. Even though we're thirsty masters, we're not. No, none of us were thirsty at that moment. We're just like, oh shit.
Right.
yeah,
That was very well done.
yeah. Thank you. So like I did a lot of
The
research.
lotion was not in
on-
hand.
Yeah, I did a lot of research on the male gaze in films. We have it with the Transformers Megan Fox scene,
Yeah, well, of course.
and Rush Hour 2 with I love Snoopy.
That's my favorite scene.
I think your
So,
favorite
like-
scene
Thinking
was
about
Heaven on Earth,
Heaven
not
Earth.
the other one.
yeah,
Sorry,
yeah, I thought it was that.
That one we can talk about that one. That was.
I thought he was. I was sorry. I was jumping.
That's
the gun.
PK's formative years, man.
But those are the scenes that we kind of like, grew up on, like subconsciously, and it like, seeps into our, the way we look at women, the way we ogle. And I did a lot of research, and those types of scenes, technically, the female is not giving consent for the male gazing at her, right? And then like the feeling of the idea of not giving someone consent actually empowers that main protagonist in that certain situation. Like it makes them feel more turned on, like, oh, she doesn't know I'm watching. Oh, she doesn't realize I'm doing this. So
Because
that,
you're having power over her.
yeah. So that's like a little bit of programming, which I'm trying to like reverse in my short film.
That's actually
That's very interesting.
awesome.
Yeah. So saw things, and also I got to add the whole, interracial dating. The whole like, oh, he's a
Well, okay,
handsome
Joe,
Asian male.
Hold on. Please, for anyone who watches it in the future, that is not how all Asian men act in situations
Are you
like
sure
this.
about that?
I don't want Joseph to give everyone the wrong idea.
I'm a
Disclaimer, right?
Yeah,
It's a disclaimer, please.
And I'm a futurist because, like, right, we have the Crazy Rich Asians, we have the Shang-Chi and like other handsome Asian males coming up.
Right. We also
My
have
short films-
everything everywhere at
Yeah,
once. We have
Everything
the
Everywhere.
the male protagonist there was just a loving
Yeah,
husband.
so I'm a futurist, so I'm predicting this film to come out next year. So the next trending wave will be toxic Asian males.
Yeah, toxicity needs to be represented well by all races.
Right.
No, I'm just saying like Asian males can be villains again. Make Asian males villains
No,
again.
actually,
No,
dude, we
no,
fought so hard to be thought of as men, and now you're like, oh, now make them evil men.
Yeah, please. We're not going back to the 1920s and 30s.
right.
James Hong would not approve of you for this. He went through that era.
Yeah, so Curtis and I had lunch, and he was talking about how he doesn't want like to play like a one-dimensional character. I obviously don't want that too. Just like the dad in Shang-Chi, like he had like motivation, layers. And with this character, I generally wanted people to like root for him in the beginning. Like, oh, he just wanted some Mushu, you know?
I was rooting.
The turn was gradual, but the thing is, I think it was like, okay, now he's a bad guy. You're right. So like we kind of root, but I might be biased because I'm Asian.
No. We don't want to give away
Whoa,
too
wait,
much
wait,
of the
wait.
story, though.
Let's just leave it at that.
Okay,
Like,
all right, okay.
You know,
But we already
Keep it
we
vague.
gave it away. We gave
Yeah.
away a lot, but I think I did like how you portray the two characters and their ethnicities and stuff, but I don't think it plays a significant part of the story because it's just like it's
Yeah,
well acted,
yeah.
it's well written,
Yes.
the
Right.
tension's there. After
Acting
a
is
certain
amazing.
point, you forget
yeah.
that the guy was Asian. You're
That's
just like,
awesome.
I'm just watching the film now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right. So it's like I don't like he could be anything, but it's like I think that's one of the points is that I really don't like representation when it's like in your face.
Yeah.
Just like shove like look at how Asian he
It's
is.
like-
Like, all his Asianness. Like
Yeah.
no, just be a regular
It's
person.
like representation
comment?
and then what?
Yeah. Sorry.
Can I
go ahead.
comment on the chemistry between the two actors? Was amazing to me. It was very natural. It was like it really felt like they're on a date. They're about
Oh,
right, yeah,
It
yeah.
Wow,
really
thank
felt
you. Yeah.
realistic. I was inside that space with them, and that's like I say. Whenever you guys hear me say like, "Nah, I ain't like this because it took me out." Like I don't want to be taken out of the film. I want to be in there, and I really felt that from the two of their chemistry. That was all
Awesome. Yeah. That was like one of my main worries. But through casting, we actually had a lot of like chemistry tests, and they had one of the best chemistries too.
Okay.
Yeah, they're really good at like improvising with each other and bouncing off of each other. And
That's what's up.
yeah. So,
That's pretty crazy.
but yeah, representation.
No, yeah, I know. I mean, as long as it's good representation, as in just don't shove in my face and don't like. That's all he is. You know,
Yeah,
like make
yeah.
him a real person.
Yeah, I didn't see him as like the Asian guy.
No,
saw
I know,
him
which
as,
is-
like,
yeah.
the guy trying to get some mushu. You know, I'm sometimes the guy trying to get some mushu.
Yeah.
I know you don't want to be toxic about it.
But like
you know what I mean?
subliminally, I wanted people like just like the first 10 seconds saying like, "Oh hell yeah, Asian guy, get in! Come on, Lee, it's a Mushu. Yeah, let's do it."
But, hey, you had us.
Yeah.
I was
Oh.
rooting.
Yeah, kind of like an underdog subconsciously, but yeah, that's the Team Red way. Always have an Asian or a black character.
No, but like you know,
Sancho is technically a quarter black, so still.
Wait,
Yeah,
who's
yeah, that's cool. I
The,
didn't
main,
know that.
the lead character.
Yeah.
Oh wow.
she did an amazing job. I really liked how like after the initial, oh shoot, these are the characters we don't see. This kind of mix, the chemistry and the acting and the story just went so well. You forgot about that afterwards, and that's
Awesome.
that's the goal. You want it to just be seamless, you know.
Hmm. You don't want to have to be shoved down your throat every.
Yeah, he's not breaking out like red envelopes to give to her.
Right,
right. As a goodbye gift. Hey, my mom gave you this. My mom made some bow for you.
Hey, hold on. Let me finish my rice real quick. Like,
I gotta go home and do my homework.
Oh God.
So Tim, is that something you're kind of sick and tired of, like with movies lately? Just like, you know.
I just think it's like no. I know what you're saying, and it's like we're all very scared of getting canceled, so we don't want to say anything.
We just started this podcast.
I know we just started. We might air this like way later when this podcast has like more views. But I think.
But that's like the general problem is that everyone's afraid to be canceled right now or be told that they're wrong, right? Yeah.
It just I say just use common sense. You know, most of the time I'm not a fan of movies now where like the characters, I don't know, sexuality or their gender or whatever, that's the main point of the story.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not a fan of that. I mean, I understand that a lot of times people want to see that. They want to see themselves represented and whatever. But like, I think if you just tell a good story with a good atmosphere, good writing, good tension and everything, that should carry the story. And then if the person happens to be a woman or Asian or black or whatever, really.
it's important though that you do leave space to highlight those differences in a respective way, because it's very easy to just then be like, oh, well, just make a good story, and then someone else with more power and influence will just take that and slap whatever they want on top and then hide those things that make the other person unique or special. Like, it's like if you have a character,
you don't want to be too generic about it.
exactly.
Okay.
Right? 'Cause like a character, like for instance, Miles Morales, him being a black Hispanic character.
Yeah.
They don't shove it in your face for like, hey, look, it's the black guy who's Spider-Man, but it is a part of his family makeup.
Yeah, that's what I
right?
mean. I
It
mean,
is
like
a
you can still include the culture and everything.
Right,
It's just
right.
like you also have to tell a good story. You also have to make a good movie at the end of the day.
Right.
It's
But-
like I just made a terrible movie, but I have a Asian character in there. Oscars, please. Like, nah.
Right,
make a
right.
good movie also.
Right.
Like,
right.
hey, yeah, I'm actually I really liked the Red Panda movie, Going Red.
Yes,
by
that was
Pixar.
amazing.
That was one of my. I was like, oh, they really captured,
The essence.
that.
Oh yeah, I love that movie.
That was-
the Asian
dude.
family, core Asian family essence in that movie.
Yeah, and can we talk about?
But they
the
went
one-
hella anime in the third act. It was
They
crazy.
did. They went Attack on Titan in the third.
Yeah, they did.
They just
yeah,
like
they did.
Titan
Well,
powers.
Oh, man, I think I was like following one of the directors or animators. It might have been a director, but she's like, I think it was that they were saying that the whole anime thing was like it was intentional.
She made the Bow short, right?
Yeah, she
The
did.
Disney one.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That
Shout
was
out
really
to
good short.
Disney right now.
I mean, I wanted to talk
Disney.
about my other favorite movie that involved an Asian family, which was Everything Everywhere
Where
All at
Everyone-
Oh, you
Once.
like that one?
Yeah, actually, Alex and I went to one of the
Ooh.
screenings and we met.
we had the opportunity to meet Stephany Hsu.
Nice.
What?
Yeah,
she was there.
she
You met Stephany Hsu?
Yeah.
they were doing a Q&A, and I guess they obviously posted on like on social media like we're gonna have a Q&A with Stephany, but I didn't see it.
PK is
Because-
freaking out.
I know.
She's one of my favorites. Oh my gosh, I
Stole
love
the
her.
show.
I
Yeah.
know. Well, yeah, because like what was it? I think Jackie was the one who told me, and I think I told you, or I forgot. It's like one of my friends told me about the screen. He's like, hey, it's gonna happen in DC. It's like, all
We
right,
didn't
cool.
know Stephany was gonna be there.
Yeah,
at all.
That's what I'm saying. I'm like, oh, I'm so. I would.
yeah. And then it's
I
like,
would've been there.
and then like the MC was like, all right, and now we're gonna have Stephany or special, and I guess she might have, I forgot how it was worded, but Stephany come out and do a Q&A, and then she popped out. I was like, oh,
What?
I didn't realize she was here. And then, yeah, she did neat Q&A session. A bunch of people were asking questions. I think there was like something bagel related, but
Oh, Stephany Hsu also did wushu for a little while, so which I was like,
Really?
Yeah,
Whoa,
we asked her about that.
okay.
Turtle Wave
I'm a-
fashion. I'm like, hey, do you do martial arts?
I'm a
She's like,
huge fan of hers. I've seen her in Marvelous Mrs. Maisel, and like
I haven't got there yet.
what?
I'm working my way in that show. It's like I
Oh,
like it so far.
her-
It's like I only
acting.
went to it because like I wanted to find Stephanie's character to show up at some point. So
She shows up in. I don't know.
what do you know? What
about-
season?
Not. I think it's it's either the end of the first season, or it's like the second season.
No, she did not show up in the first season.
Okay,
End of
so
the first season. Is it second season?
It's probably second.
I
Probably
wanna
second season or third. How many seasons are there already?
I think there's like 5. I think the
Yeah.
5th one just came out like earlier this year.
Yeah, I watched.
I think they're closing up really soon.
Yeah, I watched that last season. I really enjoyed it. She becomes a pretty pivotal character. So
Oh, good.
yeah, but just keep watching. It's a really great show. Excellent show.
Yeah, I mean, I liked what I saw so far. So it's like, well, this, the main character is dealing with trying to break into stand-up comedy as a woman.
Yeah.
So that's like, especially in the 50s.
Stand-up
Right.
comedy.
Yeah,
Shut
speaking
I
of
think
stand-up
one of
comedy.
us has some experience in stand-up comedy.
I thought we were talking about trauma. Okay, wait, I guess we are talking
That
about
is
Yeah,
trauma.
trauma,
we can talk about-
stand-up comedy is like
Yeah,
90% trauma.
yeah, you're pulling from past experiences and then mixing it up a little bit, I guess.
Yes.
Yeah,
This is
you're
what
kind
laugh
of
a bit.
channeling it in some way.
Yeah, make it funny.
I actually don't want my people. I don't announce this kind of stuff. So I'm actually not really funny on Turtle Wave. So no one expected me to do comedy. I just did comedy as a kind of like for fun, just to see it.
It's an outlet for yourself.
Well, no, it was just like
That's
I
a
was
lie.
having happy hour at my old job in DC, and then there was like an open mic there, and I was like, oh, this is pretty cool. And then at that time, Turtle Wave just kind of was budding. And
The
I
baby
thought-
turtle.
It was a baby turtle, right? Because
Was
we're
this-
making some. This is 2014. Oh, actually, I
Was
haven't
this
met you guys yet.
I'm giving you
was
the
this
side eye right now
pre-Smash
because
Brothers?
we've been doing martial arts comedy this whole time. So comedy don't have to be stand-up.
Sure.
Comedy is funny and making people laugh, and that's what we do. And you just used some of that comedic energy, and you just turned it into a different art form. That's all.
Yeah, that's true. But I mean, it was one of those
Just
things
flowing.
where I think actually I recommend if you are listening, if you have the chance, you should go try an open mic sometime. It really cured my fear of public speaking. Like, I am not scared of speaking in public anywhere.
I am absolutely terrified of speaking in
Right,
public.
exactly, and that's why you do like one open mic and then you get booed or you get like crickets.
All
and
the
he's
reject-
like,
all
this
the
is the worst
rejection?
thing that's ever happened to me in my life. All right, I'm good. Nothing else will even top this. So that's one of the things I took away from it. It's like, yeah, you overcome your fear real quick.
What was one of your biggest bombs? Like,
Oh
A
was
moment.
PK in the audience?
no, actually, I did pretty good on
No.
that one.
Yeah. Other ones I went and saw Tim at, he did very, very well.
I was
killed
actually
it?
also kind of drunk on that one. So.
Drunken style.
Drunken.
At least you didn't make a fool of yourself like that one dude. Right?
This is a public service announcement brought to you by Turtle Wave.
This is what I would say. I've been doing comedy for a little bit, and one of the things a lot of people don't understand about comedy is that like they think that heckling is a part of the show. It is, but at the same time, you have to realize that it's like talking during the movie. It
Right.
ruins the show for everyone else, especially if they're having a good time, and also the comedian has to stop his show to talk to you and tell you to stop. So like it kind of messes up for everybody, and it like kind of wrecks the mood. So if you want to do comedy on stage. Don't try to like one up the comedian in the audience, because number one, you don't have a mic, and they're louder than you. They can get you kicked out and they can embarrass you. So don't do it. And number two, if you think you're funny, go on stage. Like you're welcome to go on stage and
Right.
just no, because like also it's like once you start talking, then you want to defend yourself at that point. Like you just want to win an argument, and then the show becomes an argument, and then nothing happens.
Yeah, it's not fun.
No, we're trying to tell fart jokes over here, man. You're trying to
Right,
argue with me
right.
about whatever. Anyways,
Well,
Look at
speaking of
comedy.
trauma, even though the word has been tossed around maybe a bit too much, but PK, I just want to know, what are you most scared of?
What am I most scared of?
Yeah.
Oh God, that's a
What
loaded question.
What's something that
You
you're
asking
like
a
worried
black man
about?
what he's most scared of. Like, the real question should be, what am I not scared of?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. What am I scared of? I tend to try to not be scared of anything. There are things I am scared of, but for the most part, most of them don't have anything to do with me, as do with me being scared for other people around me that I love and care about. The only fears I have for myself would be like failure. Like I'm scared of not doing enough, not making the right decisions. You know, I always want to try to be the best me, so I'm scared of situations where I'm not the best me. That's my biggest fear.
But surely, PK, there has to be some things that are buried deep within like your mind that, you know, kind of add extra weight to whatever you're doing, right?
Yeah. I guess to be more specific, failures in family. You know what I mean? Like my parents, they're not together right now. Like they haven't been together for many years. So I'm trying to start my own family, you know, and have my own, you know, wife and kids and stuff like that. So,
Have
my
some
biggest-
Blasian babies.
yeah, you know, I want a whole fleet of them joints if I can.
Yeah. Oh, by the way, you got until April, man.
Wait, why?
You don't know about
April?
this?
You don't know about
Wait,
this?
what's going on?
So, PK,
Oh,
So
PK knows.
there's an opportunity, there's a window of opportunity for me to have a dragon baby in the year of the dragon.
Oh, yo,
is-
that planning though.
As of the time of this recording, it is the year 2023. So next year is the year of the dragon, 2024. In case if people don't know anything about the Chinese Zodiac, it's like every
Oh
12.
no, not next year. Wait, is it next year?
It 2024.
Yeah.
2012
Oh.
was the last
Yeah.
Oh,
one.
right. So
Alex
sorry.
is a
yeah.
dragon,
Yeah.
so he knows.
I'm a
Okay.
front and foremost a dragon baby, 1988 baby.
Oh, that's right. We should call
Shenron.
this
Shout out
Dragon
to
House.
Shenron.
Yeah, I've also met Shenron in a different life. So at
Yeah.
Otakon 20 something, he was
So,
hanging up
yeah,
on top of the convention wall.
But so why are dragon babies so like essential? Like what?
It's just cool.
Just superstition?
I
Like,
mean-
they're gonna be like badasses like Bruce Lee and stuff.
Yeah.
It's the year of the dragon. What do you? There
So,
ain't nothing else that you
I would
gotta
say this. Like,
about
I'm
that.
very biased because
Because you're
in
Chinese.
the Chinese Zodiac, there are like all these animals, right? And then the coolest ones, tiger and dragon.
Yeah.
Like there's the other ones are kind of lame. I mean, no offense to anyone without the Zodiac.
Okay.
I mean, but if we're doing-
I'm here. The ox is kind of cool.
I'm
Okay.
kind of a
Okay.
dragon. I'm
Wait,
a
wait.
snake.
Hold
but
on.
no
So
wings.
yeah, I'm the year of the dragon. We'll go around the table real quick. And Joseph, you are,
Snake.
which is 80,
the traitor.
89.
89.
I'm
89.
forgetting you for
I'm
forgiving
the
you.
vain one.
Oh, for that one game of what is it? One night
Resistance.
Resistance.
Yeah, we'll talk about board games later.
Oh,
Another
yeah, we could.
podcast.
Yeah.
Stay tuned. We'll get sponsored by then.
Yeah.
I think the year of the snake that suits. You know, especially 'cause, you know
You know what?
you guys are still doing videos.
Oh yeah.
I
It's
make
his
film.
character. Okay, PK. So you are ox, right?
Ox.
Okay. So
Oh, that
Strong,
makes sense.
resilient. I am stubborn.
Yeah.
I don't quit.
Like Onyx.
Ooh.
Ooh.
Yeah, and I'm
Oh.
year of the tiger. So
See, that's why you're the fearless leader.
no, see,
You got the
dragon
tiger
should have been
claw.
the dragon is actually the leader. Dragon beats tiger on the Zodiac.
Dragons are back.
Well, I don't know what I'm doing then.
Yeah, so here's the thing. The year of the dragon is one of those things where like people are very superstitious about zodiacs. So they're saying how like if you are a tiger, you should not marry a dragon because you're gonna fight all the time. So there's all these like superstitions surrounding things. So I think 1 year. So I don't know if you guys know this, but like there's not only the zodiac animal, there's also 5 elements that associates with the animal.
Wow.
So there's fire, wood, water, gold, and metal. I don't know the
What the freak?
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
there's more than I knew at the time.
right. So I'm a fire tiger, which is kind of cool.
Yo.
Yeah,
That's
I just-
Charizard.
That's
Yeah,
Charizard.
right.
There we go.
I don't actually know the other ones, but I know.
Articuno?
But by the way, PK,
No, not Articuno.
just FYI, I just found this out.
Arcanine.
Yeah, Arcanine, sure.
Yeah.
I just found this out. Well, Arcanine is a dog, technically.
He has a tiger stripe.
Sure, whatever. So,
Excited
just
about playing it
FYI,
both.
if you want So the reason why you want there's a time limit for your dragon babies is the year of the dragon starts from like February 2024 and ends February 2025. So minus 9 years, minus 9 months, which puts his absolute last day at around April something of next year.
Oh,
Yeah.
shoot.
So
okay.
So that's why I told PK he has
because
a
it
limit.
takes about like what 9 months.
9 months.
That's coming up soon. you
Yeah,
know?
exactly. So like anybody who's trying to make dragon babies, you got until
Yeah.
April. But also, I just found out
Or you have
that,
to wait another 12 years.
Yeah, or another 12 years. But I also found out that next year's dragon is not that great.
Why?
It's a wood dragon.
Oh, the elements are also within the year.
So it's like
No,
a fake
it's
dragon.
it's every so there's 5 elements.
So it's
So
like
they
cycles.
cycle every 60 years.
Oh wow.
It's
so
a
the
Trojan
next-
dragon.
So the next dragon, the next wood dragon will be 60 years after 2024.
Wait, so you saying I could have a Hashirama baby?
I was trying to discourage you, but sure. Yeah, it's a wood
Wait,
dragon.
What's that?
Naruto.
Hashira is the
Hashirama.
the Naruto guy who controls wood.
The first Hokage. He's the wood
It's-
ninja. He could create.
It's been 20 years since I've watched Naruto. So just to put my age out there.
okay.
I mean, it's still a dragon, so
It's
that's
still a
cool.
dragon, but it's like
So-
it's a forest dragon basically.
Yeah. So, but clock's ticking. PK's feeling, a little nervous about it. Who wouldn't be?
Well, PK, if you don't get the dragon, you get Snake afterwards. So it's not bad. Snake is pretty good.
And then potentially your baby will betray you eventually. Father, I hate you.
I mean,
I'm joining
Snakes
team.
and Ox don't seem to get along that well, so I don't know.
Snakes and ox don't get along.
Doesn't I don't know. I mean, I've always heard stories about like the ox getting tricked by maybe it's the mouse. Oh, it is the mouse. Sorry, I'm wrong. So the story of the Zodiac is that the reason why the rat is the first in the Zodiac is because the rat took a ride on the ox's head, and then right before the finish line, the rat there was a lake, so they had to cross the lake, and then right as they were crossing the lake, before the ox got on land, the mouse jumped off, and he got there first. So he was the first one. So first is rat, and then ox, and then tiger. So yeah, a little background information for all your.
I think
Ox
I have a
is doing all
hint
the work.
of who might be a
Can't wait.
rat.
Speaking of trauma, actually no, rat is no, he wouldn't be rat
Yeah.
because you're 85, right? So rat would be 84. No.
Yeah,
the
but
person I'm thinking about is definitely not 84, for sure.
but how much do you believe in these superstitions? Like,
It's not. It's just fun to think about.
yeah.
It's not
Yeah.
You should not base your
Yeah.
life on superstitions.
But I feel like PK, you shouldn't like.
I'm trying to have kids, bro.
Yeah.
no, I know. I'm just saying.
But
no,
like
it's
the dragon,
this
the
is
wood,
this is
the
this is
element,
more-
it don't matter. It's like you're.
Yeah, look
it's
at
your-
Joseph. He's a snake. It's fine.
No.
He's making it big.
Yeah.
No.
Nah, I don't know. It's just like I said, I'm not heavily invested in those things, but like I do want to have a family and kids and stuff like that. And one of the fears that I have is, not fears, but I guess one of the things I'm more concerned about is, I want to have a healthy, happy family. And me, I didn't quite come from a united family. My parents got divorced when I was younger, and they were together for a long time. So one of my fears would be that I'd be in a partnership, marriage for a while, and then for it to kind of like all go to hell at the end, because my parents were together for like 11 years, so when they did have like a really messy divorce, it kind of like it had a great effect on my brother and I, and that also rippled to both sides of our family. So I'm looking at things as an adult now, like I want to make sure that I get the right partner, that I build the right habits for building the right family, and having everyone kind of move generally in the right and unified direction, so that we don't just fight and bicker and then split up. And it doesn't have to be just with the parents, because you can have issues, as I'm saying, with different families. You can have the kids not want to talk to the parents anymore, and then excommunicate that way. You can have all kinds of splits and divides, and so I'm all about community and togetherness. And so my biggest fear is falling into pitfalls that will separate the family that I want. Essentially.
Wow, I didn't know about that about you.
Yeah, well, I mean, I'm at the age that I am now. I know I look young, but at the age that I am now, I'm kind of like a little far behind too. So another fear would be not having kids in time.
Yeah, you got like a couple months. So wait, are you so PK? Am I hearing this correctly? Brock wants some kids.
Yes, Brock wants some kids, and
With Nurse Joy.
Yes.
Officer Jenny. Yes to both.
Or no, you're just crossing over fandoms and just going to Dragon Ball. I was like, no, with Chichi actually.
Yeah.
Pyong's girlfriend is she can be pretty scary sometimes.
I have a real life Chichi who's real life dangerous. Actually, I just had a conversation about it with a friend of mine.
What's her
about that.
zodiac?
Her zodiac?
Yeah.
Dang, I'm really dumb.
What year?
Know.
It's all right.
What year was her born? No, how old is she? And then we can trace back from there.
She
Do you want to disclose it?
No,
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, no, actually, if you disclose anyone's zodiac,
really
you can find out within
given
12
the
years
age,
how old they
I
are.
really shouldn't have done that. I gave the age. Yeah.
Wait, I didn't hear it. Did you?
Well,
Play that
I
back.
gave
Jamie,
it
play
the
that
matter.
back.
The recording
So
totally has.
93.
93. So 89 is snake. I can only do zodiac by inch.
90.
My
So
brother's
92 is monkey.
Wait, hold on. 属牛、虎、兔、龙、蛇、马。
Motherfucker spitting.
属牛、虎、兔、龙、蛇、马、羊、猴、鸡、狗、猪。
88 rising.
Okay, so snake is 蛇 is 89.
Horse is 90.
90 is horse. 91 is lamb.
Ram.
92 is monkey.
Yep. That's
and
correct.
90 and 93 is rooster. Is she
Rooster?
rooster?
Yes. I think
She's rooster.
I think she's rooster.
Okay.
You're the chicken. I don't know.
Oh yeah, that's right. Because I know that the year of the pig was 96, I believe. Because that's when one of my cousins was born. Well, no, it's 95 or 96.
Anyways.
Okay, sorry. We're cutting a lot of this.
1, 2, 3, 4.
Well, let's say
water
rat
rooster.
was 2020, right?
Rat?
Yeah.
Oh, that makes
she's
sense.
a water rooster apparently.
Yeah, water rooster. There you go. You can figure out what kind of ox you are.
Yeah, I'm about to look that up right now.
All right. This is one of the weird podcasts we're going to.
These are
You have
funny.
to edit this a lot.
I know. There's a lot of pauses and whatever. But
That's
we need to
okay.
disclaimer
normal.
disclaimer
Even-
everybody. This
look,
is gonna be a spicy
No,
podcast.
no. Well, even on Joe Rogan podcast, it's like he's like, hey, Jamie, pull that shit up, and they'll take a moment.
Talk about random shit.
we're
You're
always-
hanging out.
We're always learning.
I'm a wood ox.
But
You're a wood ox. Okay, there you go. So if you wanted
Makes
to
sense.
You want to get that
wood
wood dragon.
God. So are you saying you got wood, PK?
Hey man.
You got a lot of dude. Can you imagine a wood dragon? In Chinese is wood long.
Bruh. So I gotta do it.
or if you switch it, long wood.
I gotta do it.
Now you gotta do
make
it.
happen. I gotta do it.
what type?
Right. What?
But
your kid's gonna be born like years later. It's like, Dad, why am I a wood dragon?
Oh, son, let me tell you one.
How
so
did
I
get
was making a podcast, right? But
You heard it here
that's
first.
very important to like have a legacy and pass down, good values to the next generation. PK, if you had firstborn son, what would you name him? And obviously you're gonna teach him martial arts, but yeah, let's just start there.
Dang, a name.
Pyonki Jr.
Yeah. I don't think I would do that.
PK Fire.
Goku.
I do like my name a lot. Actually, it's funny because I got made fun of it forever. But
Well, I think it's really cool. But
it's a cool ass name. It's a great history. I want to find a name that has the kind of strength that my name has, but I wouldn't mind. So I want to go so I'm named after an African king, actually an African pharaoh, and he's a black pharaoh, and he actually conquered Egypt and like kind of rebuilt it because Egypt was undergoing like this like civil war in that era. So he conquered the whole thing. He rebuilt a lot of the temples, and he fixed like the trade routes and stuff, and made Egypt thrive while he was there. And after he did that, he went back home.
Can you do that for Turtle Wave?
Right, so,
Yeah, maybe he'll do that.
Yeah, like make it thrive.
Make it thrive and rebuild it.
Rebuild it.
I
from
might-
the
I might-
kid roast.
I might have
That
to.
is of the internet algorithms.
And so, but he was a great warrior. He was a great strategist, and you know he had vision. He did make some mistakes, and I'd like to learn from some of those things. But I'd like to find a name for my son that has the same kind of power to it.
I got one, PK.
What?
Hey, Wong Zimmerman.
Oh man, Tim pulling out the oldest joke in the book here.
I mean,
You can't. Come on, man.
Brock.
as much power as that has, it doesn't have the it doesn't have the weight.
Because he is
per se.
technically
Yeah,
Hey
You
Wong.
are Pyonki is a Hey Wong technically.
technically.
So you just go straight for the
straight
it,
for the
man.
jugular.
Just straight for the jugular. Yeah.
How about-
But most Chinese names, they're not. They're one sound, right? Actually, no.
No. That's not. So in Chinese character, it's the last name is one. It's one sound.
right.
And
Yeah.
then if you have another name that's one sound, that's one character. But you can have up to two characters in your. Well, Chinese characters are the last name goes first. That's your family
name.
and then your actual name comes next, and that could be either one or two characters. So it could be Hey Wong technically. I mean, I wouldn't recommend it because Wong is it's a really terrible name for China. Dude, if you name your kid Hey Wong and then he goes to China, he's gonna get beat up every day in school.
Hey Wong.
Hey Wong, dude.
Yeah, like people
No.
even made fun of my last name, and it's only 2 letters. It's just pronounced O or Aw, depending on how you're pronouncing it. Because I think people are like, is that French sort of? Because you see the AU. But yeah, it's like my last name would be if I actually had like an actual Chinese name like as my government names. Like I think when I was talking to my dad, it would have been something with dragons. So it would have been, I think it was like
Oh Long.
Qianlong.
That sounds
what's-
dope.
Yeah. Dude, you should
That's
have
super
that name
dope.
like actual.
Yeah, man.
It's like
that's-
because Bruce Lee has the
Yeah.
nickname
Wait,
of-
so your name is actually Dragon something?
well, that's what he was thinking about. My government. If you look at my license, it's like no, it's just plain old Alexander.
Oh, so your actual legal name is still Alex All.
Alexander. actually.
Alexander. Okay.
Now
so
a lot of people have actually called me that since like grade school.
That's actually
so.
interesting because a lot of Chinese kids who were born here, they have their official name is English, and then they have a Chinese name that their parents call them, which is weird because for a lot of people who are not born here but born in China, like I was, Tim is not really my name. That's just like I just picked it randomly.
Oh, you had the
Wait,
yeah,
how'd you
had
pick your
How did you?
name?
Yeah, actually, that's a good question.
You were like, oh, I like the sound of that.
Yeah.
I like
I was
how it goes.
watching Jurassic Park,
Wow.
and the
Nice.
kid there was named Tim. And
Who? Oh, the kid.
The little
kid.
boy was named Tim, and he loved dinosaurs, and I love dinosaurs.
I love dinosaurs.
Fun fact: as of this recording, maybe like a month ago, the 30th anniversary of Jurassic Park was in theaters, and Joseph and I saw it in post 3D. It was pretty cool.
Wow.
The movie still holds up.
Super immersive.
Very immersive. A fantastic Spielberg film. If you haven't seen it yet, part of my
I-
childhood.
Who has not seen that yet?
I know.
You need to go to jail immediately.
It helped me a lot growing up.
So Tim became Tim through Jurassic Park.
Yeah.
So my parents found my name through African history books, as they said they wanted. My family was very Afrocentric.
So you're gonna do the
growing up.
same.
So I would like to do something along the same vein, either through. No, my kids are likely going to be mixed, right? So I wouldn't mind having either doing like a trade, like one being an African name and then another one being a Chinese name. That'd be cool. Or finding some way to make it unique.
You know,
But-
what'd be
Give him the
cool
middle
is,
name.
like you can actually have like Chinese names, like because Chinese characters can sound different ways, right?
Mhm.
You can have the Chinese characters sound like an
very
African
different
name.
name. Yeah,
So like
yeah.
so you can so the name could be whatever. Like let's say
Double
the name is
meaning.
Pyonki. Like you can find Chinese characters that fit Pyonki, the the sound.
Yeah.
And then so you can still have both.
So I have a Chinese name that I was kind of christened with by Julie's parents. So because I had a different one and they didn't like the other one.
What is?
No.
What is it?
Okay, so I have a very horrible. No, it's just that whenever my family meets some one of my cousin's boyfriends or whatever,
A black person.
and no, and a lot sometimes they're white, so we usually just call them lao bai, which is old whitey.
That's messed up.
And no, or like lao wai or
my family has
old.
the same.
No, it's because like
Yeah.
we don't remember his name, so we're just like,
Right,
oh, actually no.
the white guy.
One of our family's nicknames for one of my cousin's boyfriends, now husband, was Kambudong, which means he can't understand.
That's messed up.
No.
So we actually
he might
because
be
I
Lao Hei,
know
by the way, I don't like.
I actually have acknowledge on some Asian languages, particularly Japanese and Chinese and a little bit of Korean. So I was actually kind of going back and forth with them on like different like ideas of like what my name could be, and so I had my own kind of idea, and I thought it was going to be Pingang, which is kind of like
Beyond Peace.
right?
Oh, that was your name.
Yeah, and I liked it. That's the one that I had kind of come up with a different one of my Chinese teachers, but they were like, that sounds kind of stupid. So they came up with Ankai, and the reason why they wanted
Kind of like that.
is because the meaning and the sound of it, but also my name Pianki. Ankh is the Egyptian symbol, like the cross with the loop on top, right? It's a symbol of life.
Oh.
And so they're like, well, yeah, Ankai, like Ankh kind of fits in there already, and then like it kind of sounds like more of a normal.
Wait, can you say that again? So, what is the meaning in Chinese? Because like
I totally forgot. I really should.
I mean, kai kind of means open. If it's the
I
kai
don't think
that
it
I'm
was
thinking.
based on meaning. I think it was more based on like
Just sound.
and like it would be a more normal name as opposed to like Pingang is just like peace. It's like it's not like a. I think they thought that name sounded kind of like too trivial, like too like.
No, it's just kind of like it's like naming your kid Joy, or it's a little bit on the nose.
Red, yeah, that's what
It's
they're
a little
like.
bit
It's
too on the
not.
nose.
It's not
Sorry,
like
no offense to all the Joys out there. I'm just saying.
right.
I'm like, if you're choosing a name, just
But yeah, so I wouldn't mind doing that for my kids. But I definitely want something that has a meaning significant to me and hopefully to Julie as well.
I mean, I already know what my kid's name is going to be. If it's a boy, Max Wang. I just have to do it.
Is this
I have to do it.
Is this a joke or is this
I'm a Maximilian Wang.
Maximilian?
actually as an Alex as an Alexander? Yes, please name him Maximilian. It's like my friends
actually
call me
works.
Max.
Right.
Yeah,
right,
Max Wang.
right.
Or I guess if it's a girl, it could be
You
Maxine.
sure you don't
Yeah,
want to do
Maxine.
over 9,000 way?
No, I mean the other one would be because my name is Wang Yi in Chinese, which just literally means Wang. Yi means one.
One.
It literally means one.
Wang.
So like if my kid like as a
One
joke, I would just
dictate.
name him Wang R, like Wang number 2, and then we'll just keep going.
So
Okay.
R Wong.
R Wang.
Wang.
Yeah.
Oh.
And then
Wang-
San Wang,
or-
Si Wang, Wu Wang, Liu Wang, and
Wang,
just
Wang.
just all just go all the way up
Qi
to like
Wang.
yeah. No, but here's my thing though. My son is named Wang R, but then his brother won't be named Wang R. His brother will be named Max Wang or something. The next generation will be Wang San. So it's generational, not sibling wise. That's the plan. So I want to get to like Wang Ibai, Wang 100 or something. Like that would be
So your name is one.
yes.
The one.
Yeah.
That's so it's interesting because Tim is a
Tim is
very
the
like
one.
simplistic
Or-
like it's just Tim,
Yeah.
and your name is Yi.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like
It's
one,
just
one consonant, one.
yeah, it's
That's
very
dope.
simple. Like I feel like everything about me is pretty simple. So I'm just like, yeah, just keep it simple. I'm just whatever. Except for VFX, I don't like to keep it simple. But everything else, I like to keep it simple.
So I guess we should. I had a comment. Yeah, my kid's not gonna get beat up because I'm teaching martial arts. True.
I think Joseph asked that. It was like,
Yeah, I'm definitely doing that. All my children are gonna know martial arts. This is mandatory. They don't gotta fight.
What's the
but
first
they're
one
know
you're gonna teach?
self-defense. The first martial art. That's an interesting question. I probably wrestling.
That's a good one.
And just because I didn't do wrestling growing up, but kids learn to wrestle just like animals do. It's like one of the first things they learn, and it helps them understand their own body and how to work with other bodies and their balance. And it's like the safest thing you can teach them. They'll probably go from wrestling to jiu-jitsu up into striking. Because striking, I feel like, is some of the more volatile martial arts. It's like hard to strike people softly. Like I can, right? But it still hurts.
Very, if you listen to podcast episode 1, PK had his eyes detached retinas because someone hit him wrong.
Well, yeah, that they were not being soft with me at all. They were being mad because I was one-upping them. But yeah, when you become a higher level striker, you can hit people without hurting them, and like I'm able to do that a lot with sparring, and especially when you're using gloves. It's harder to do that without gloves, but it's just one of those things you don't want your kid punching another kid in school and then be like, well, you said something about my mama. Like, all right, cool. Actually, I'd be okay about that. But you don't want to condone
your mom
violence,
will come to school
right?
and beat them.
right. But yeah, I'd basically go from the grappling aspect because it's the most natural thing that the human body does, and then I'd advance it up to striking.
Joseph, actually, we should ask you this question now. Okay, so I guess we gotta pass the buck, man. Like, we can talk about trauma and like fears and stuff. Like, what is your fear? Like, what are you afraid of the most? Like, what keeps you up at night?
Yeah. What keeps me up at night is the fact that I'm worried about not living up to my full potential as a creative. But the quest to living up to my full potential as a creative also means sacrificing some personal life stuff, and that no one will listen to this podcast.
That's a very relevant fear. That's a very realistic fear.
That's a fear.
If they don't listen to it, then all these hours.
The funny thing is, this is fun. I mean,
this is fun. We're getting to know each other on a deeper level.
Yeah, and like the podcast is just
Pause.
The podcast is just like a bonus. It doesn't actually have to.
Yeah.
I'm not expecting this to do anything.
It's
just hang out.
funny. I was talking to Julie earlier today. So it's just like her and her parents here mostly, and most of her family's out in China. And so she was saying how like I have both sides of my family actually locally, right? And my mom's family and my dad's family are in the same state and the neighboring states, right? And then I also have like my CPMMA family for martial arts. I got my Cyber Ninjas family for my nonprofit, and then but then I also got my Turtle Wave family. And I was telling her how like we even though we're all not related, we're all very different. We function like brothers.
We're like the Ninja Turtles.
Yeah,
oh snap.
Yeah, I would say, Joseph, I wouldn't worry about the podcast. No one listening to the podcast.
That was a fake fear.
Oh, that was a fake fear. I was about to flex a little bit because I was like, hey, the girl I'm seeing, she liked the podcast. I showed it to her.
Oh,
okay.
You showed
What's
it to
her
her. You
name?
played it for her.
What's her
Are you asking what's her ethnicity?
No.
Are you asking for, is it
I already know what her
AMWF?
ethnicity is.
Yeah, that wasn't the question. We know what you like.
She's what my kind would call mi chang. Means white.
Oh.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
Yeah, most of the time, like my female cousins would roll up, and then I would be like, "Oh, another mi chang." Anyway, that's another topic for another time. But I always gotta pick them.
Oh my gosh. No, do you want me?
And then he looks like Play-Doh.
Remember, this is a whole nother
Do you,
topic.
do you want me to get started on
we
that?
got an Asian formal event, and he rolls up with a gray hoodie sweater, and I'm like, "Whoa."
Oh, that is so
the heck?
true.
It's like he's just a normal Play-Doh guy with
Man,
a
that
crusty beard.
I got so many. Ooh, I got so
We
many
have-
thoughts on that. Ooh,
We
I got
have
so
to
many
save
thoughts on
this. That's another
the
topic.
thing. No, now we're getting into the rhythm now, and now we got
Because there's sometimes
you right now.
also like when I'm like online dating, like I would match with them, go out on a date, and then befriend them on Facebook, and then later on, I would see them with really that guy.
Wait, so these girls are Asian that you're
Yeah.
Yeah.
and then they end up going
With yeah.
okay.
This
so
is
does
to
that
say that
frustration come through in the film?
Turtle Wave
And
is
then-
not against interracial dating of
Yeah,
any
we're
type,
totally not,
But
but
there
it's-
is a stigma that derives from racism. Don't say it out loud. And
Elitism.
and elitism,
Yeah.
and colorism, and all those isms where people pair for power, which is not that's a human thing, but it's in this day and age, especially how it's used, it can become very toxic and self-toxic, right? It's not just a thing of like, oh well, we're banding together to form this group so we can be better than others. It's like you end up often kind of devaluing your own culture and heritage and stuff like that.
I don't have a problem, just to be clear, with interracial dating. Love it. But like if you only specifically date one race deliberately and then also when asked, why don't you date this and that? All of a sudden like, ugh. Like that happens, like I'm not cool with that.
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
you can't
It's like
I don't know.
be hypocritical.
Yeah,
Or-
and then those same types of people would always like be the Asian Justice Warriors or like Boba Warriors. You know what I'm talking about? The Boba
Oh,
I don't know. Wait,
Subtle
the
Asian
boba?
traits.
Please explain.
Yeah, I don't know about the boba thing. What's the boba? Thing?
sorry, I'm like this
we're
is a term
tangenting
for it.
now, but I this is an interesting topic.
But it's like
I've-
another
I've heard
version
about
of keyboard warriors, but they're like Asian people who complain about, oh my god, this restaurant tried to make pho, like how dare they, let's shut them down.
the whole
And
So
then-
they want to
appropriation thing?
stand for
Yeah,
Asian
like-
folk, but then
And
they
then
want
I
to
go on the
go
profile
home
and I'm
with
like,
Kyle.
hey, wait a minute. Yeah, crusty Kyle.
You say crusty crust.
Wait, so the people that were boba stands or whatever, boba
Yeah.
warriors, they're white, basically, is what you're saying.
What?
no.
The
Wait, I don't understand what you. I don't. Wait,
No,
so
he's
what's-
saying the Asian people would be like, hey, like, we need to have authentic Asian, blah, blah, blah. But then they would be the first on the
will
Uber
go-
ride home with Kyle and Skylar.
Oh, okay, I see.
So, and there's nothing
Yeah.
wrong. It's
And then I
you
meet-
can date whoever
it's
you
cool.
want.
And
but
then I meet Kyle and Skylar, and they're like, "Oh, you do the kung fu, right? Yeah, I love Forbidden Kingdom." I'm like,
oh no,
we on the-
Joseph
we
said
on the
the
wrong
magic
side.
the
words.
magic word.
You said the
"That's
magic
my
words.
favorite
say
Jackie
that
Chan
word.
movie." And I met someone
Pandora
like
box.
that when I was training at the Shaolin Temple for 2 weeks.
What?
Yeah, and then I met this white gentleman. He was all about the martial arts, the kung fu, but the way he was like talking about Asian women and like he only dates them for this reason because they never talk back at you. Or
Whoa.
whatever.
Also, that's
bruh.
not true.
Yeah,
That's
Well,
100% not true.
But
Bruh.
he liked like a
I'm
certain
with the
type.
Asian woman right now.
Like yeah,
all I get is talk back. Okay.
Yeah.
but he liked the whole docile. Like yeah, I love Asian women because they're always like this.
But that's not. So that's.
And then
I
the
don't
whole-
understand because
the-
that's not true at all.
Yeah,
Like,
it's not.
You didn't have eyes.
It's
But that's what he's like his small lens.
yeah.
And the deal breaker was like, oh yeah, I love Forbidden Kingdom. And I'm like, okay, you ignorant.
That just
Get out of the
this is-
temple.
If anybody that
You
if
dishonor
anybody
my
wants to join
family.
Turtle Wave, you must answer no to the following questions: Do I like Forbidden Kingdom? Do I like Dragon Ball Evolution? Do I like The Last Airbender live action?
Right.
If you answer yes to any of these questions,
Get your
you're
guaylo ass.
you're not welcome here. Okay,
Yo,
that is all we're
sorry.
saying. Like it's.
is
You know what?
there's so
I
many
admit
issues with
I can
that
be
movie.
a little bit racist sometimes. Sometimes I'm walking down the mall, and I be single as I'm.
AF.
Kind of AF, but kind of spiteful, and then I see a sister walking by with Kyle, and then like I give her a little look like,
So
betray our ways.
So Joseph, you are the thirsty master, the jelly master.
The jelly-
You're
the jelly
jelly
master.
thirsty master.
Yeah, back then, yeah, that was my toxic trait. And then I would go home and then watch Malcolm X, directed by Spike Lee. And I'm like, yes, the white man always do this to our brothers. We must stand up and fight.
Okay, so now to be fair, I would say this. To be fair to the people, to the Asian girls who picked the Kyles and the Skylers, a lot of times it's because the Asian guy just didn't deliver. And not no.
There's truth to this.
I'm guilty,
not
yes.
even in the downstairs.
Tim
department.
didn't
It's more
deliver
like,
in MacFest.
It's more like they
no,
were.
I'm not talking about that. Yeah, no,
Yeah,
I'm saying
it's more like they weren't like their shit wasn't together. Their life wasn't together. Their whole.
Ooh, I disagree with
They
that.
were told to not express themselves.
I have
and
my
also
own-
no, it's and they're like they're not communicative.
Yeah.
They're not romantic. There's a lot of things, and then the Asian girl's like, you know what?
Oh yeah.
Screw these Asian guys. They're just I've dated like 5 of them. They all suck. So then the white
Jump
guy
ship.
asks them out, and they're like, oh
Yeah.
wow, he's so romantic. And then it's like,
he looks like
oh,
Ryan
okay.
Gosling. He looks like
Right, and then so it's not because they didn't start with the Kyles. They started with the Wong
Yes.
Chens and the and the Wong R's of the world. Okay, and then Wong R didn't deliver.
Well, I
Wong R
also
didn't deliver emotionally.
I'm glad you brought that point because,
Yeah.
like, you know, I was trying to be funny and stuff, but you know, I do not view my sisters like just. Why do I say that? As though-
I don't know. I thought you were talking about my sister.
No,
at
no, I'm
first. I was
talking about
like, you talking about
my
black women? We can
sister.
do that. Let's do it.
yeah, but yeah, I'm glad you brought that up. Yeah,
Yeah, no,
there's a reason.
it's all. So that's why I appreciated your film. Also, not appreciated your film because you kind of painted us in a very bad light. No spoilers. But also, it's like it's more about like if you can have a preference, but that should not be your fetish.
Right.
You know, it's like everyone knows my preference,
Right,
but I'm not gonna, if someone else comes
Yeah.
along, I'm not gonna be like, nah, I only go for
Right.
Yeah.
this or whatever. It's like no, you must look like Boma.
Right,
It's
right,
Boma
right.
or nothing. Like
Right,
no,
right, right.
no, that's not what it is. It's just like, I dated some people, let's just say,
Yeah.
and like the ones that I really vibed with were of the of the Kyle, no, not the Kyle, of the
The vanilla persuasion.
of the pumpkin spice latte
The
variety,
sweet white nectar.
of the avocado toast variety. let's just say.
Hey man, I love me some avocado.
But yeah, it's like no, because like it's like same with like PK. We all know
Oh my
PK as the
God.
person that's like, oh, I love the Asian culture and I want the whatever. But I'm not gonna. But I don't think he's fetishizing.
Yeah,
the thing.
you're not appropriating.
You're not,
Asian
and also
culture.
you do Asian things.
Yeah.
And you're like
You represent us strongly. Like us, the Asian delegation would like to trade. Wait, that sounds wrong.
no, that's funny as shit.
But you know what I mean. You make that. You're not saying, oh, I'm dating Asian girls because they're submissive. Like I'm dating because like I appreciate.
Did I ever tell you how I ended up getting into being more attracted to Asian women?
No.
So I
Rush
guess-
Hour.
Dragon
Rush
Ball
Hour.
Z.
Wait,
Rush
wait.
Hour 2. That was my answer.
PK.
Alright,
so PK, I'm assuming like it wasn't that way from the like from the start. Like I guess that's
So-
from what you're saying.
Mm.
What you're leading up to.
I mean, when you're a kid, you don't look at race, right? Like at all. It's just
Yeah, definitely
people
not
are
at first.
people, right? Someone's pretty, someone's nice to you. It's very basic. So like the first girl I ever remember having a crush on was a black girl in nursery school. I just remember I liked her pigtails and she was just really pretty and she didn't even know that I liked her. I barely know if she even knew I existed. But we were in the same class in nursery school and I was like, I have a crush on you. You're really pretty. Pretty brown skin, whatever, is cool. After that, it was a light skinned girl, super light skin, like yellow.
Ice Spice?
skin. Yes, that kind. Actually lighter. But she was black and I just had a crush on her. She was mean to me, but for some reason that turned into me having a crush on her. I don't know why.
Toxic.
Then it was
Or-
like first grade. It was a Hispanic girl. She was really nice to me. Then it was like another Hispanic girl, and then a white girl, and then a blonde white girl.
All right, PK. All right, all right, PK. Okay.
You like what I'm saying is like
You sound like the girl with dick pics right now.
no, but like the reason why I'm bringing this up is like the reasons why I liked girls growing up wasn't because of any particular trait other than who they were to me, right? It wasn't like, oh, I like blonde hair or brown hair or whatever. It was just like I liked characteristics of the personality, right? And if they looked pretty, that was an extra added bonus.
And then you start studying more of Eastern culture in general, right?
No,
Huh?
No, so actually, what
Surprise.
surprise, surprise! My
Surprise,
first,
Mo.
surprise, motherfucker. The first Asian girl I remember liking, it had to do with the qualities of a woman that I already were attracted to. It just so happened that those same qualities were repeated in more often among Asian women that I met. So I liked. It's funny. So you know how like there's the stereotype of like Asian women being submissive and docile.
It's not true at all.
No, I never liked those things. I liked women who were headstrong, who were smart, creative, hardworking, like out loud. Like they were.
So you like the you like the Chichi type versus the Hinata of Naruto.
Hinata type was not my type.
I don't know. That's so weird.
No, that would be Sakura.
No,
right?
Sakura is still pretty. Sakura's pretty headstrong.
Pretty headstrong. So
Yeah,
She's only doing that for Sasuke.
No, but she's like that, right? It's like my type was more Sakura, right?
Right.
And I found as I got older, like there was just more of the Sakura type amongst the Asian women that were in my community. So I was in like fourth grade, in fifth grade. I found this one Asian girl, and she was athletic and she was like smart, headstrong, and like she was like physically strong, and I was attracted to that. You know what I mean? So she would play sports, and I was just like, I can get down with that. So I had a crush on her, and then later on it was like I just saw other women having the same, I guess, sets of stars. You could say that, you know, would ping on like, oh, I like this, like this, like this, and I would see them in that community. And it just so happened that I ended up following a trail of my interest leading into Asian culture, like on accident. So it started with language class when I was in sixth grade. We got to learn one language every marking period. So it started with German, and then we had Japanese, and then we had French, and then we had Spanish. I got
you did the whole. I think in my middle school it was called like exploratory languages, right?
Yeah.
What, you had that? That's great.
Yeah,
it
for
was
me,
awesome.
in mine was
Every
Spanish,
school
French,
should do something like this.
German, and Latin in mine. So
Right.
that's it.
Around the
So-
world in 80 days.
Right. So in my school, you started that in sixth grade, and then in seventh grade you picked one, and you used that one for. Up
So
until
I guess you
whatever.
chose Japanese.
So
Japanese.
I thought it was, for me, it was either between German or Japanese, right? And it
I would've
wasn't
picked German.
because
Some
it
Axis
wasn't
powers
so much-
right there.
No,
so superior.
it's funny, right? 'Cause, right, the
conundrum
Axis
here.
guys.
I know.
But the reason being was those were the teachers that spoke to me the most. It wasn't the language as much as it was the teachers and the teachers' passion to teach that language. So the German
To
teacher, he was
spread
like, yo, we're going to have so much fun. We're going to learn German. I'm going to teach you guys about German culture and this. And I'm so excited to show you. And that made me love German, because it was like, man, my teacher loves this stuff and he wants me to learn. I'm here for it.
Yeah, man.
And I had so much
Wow.
fun in that class. And I got an A.
feisty.
And I was like, man, this was great. I would like to see this teacher again. And I had, because he taught German, now I like German because I liked being in his class. And then when it came to Japanese, I'll never forget Sensei Pakunovitz. Actually, I'm connected with her on social media and stuff now still. She was my Japanese teacher, and she was just in love with Japanese culture. It's like, yeah, I'm going to teach you guys about Japanese. Our writing system's different, and here's the sounds and blah blah, and like you guys are gonna love it. She actually had a whole like almost like not the complete set, but she had a bunch of volumes of Dragon Ball manga that she would.
Oh, well,
allow
there you
us.
go.
There,
No,
I told you,
That wasn't
Eastern
it, though.
culture.
That wasn't it. That was a part of it. But like,
No,
she would
no
let us
way.
borrow those and like bring them back. So I was like, oh, this is so.
And you're
cool.
like, ooh, hentai.
Wait, hold on.
Right.
Hold on. Was that the first time
At
you
least
saw
the
Dragon
early
Ball?
Dragon Ball.
No.
I was like, there's some
No.
moments.
Okay.
No, it was not the first time I saw Dragon Ball. That's why I say that was just like.
Then
I
what
didn't-
was
I
the
didn't connect
moment?
those together until I got to that class, because I had seen Dragon Ball when I was in like fifth
That,
grade.
okay, what was the moment then that made you go like, ooh?
For Asian culture
Or for learning Japanese.
or for learning
For
Japanese.
the ladies.
For the ladies.
For the ladies, it kind of just it just kind of just went in that direction.
Like a wave.
Everything just kind of pointed
Naturally.
in that direction. Like
Turtle
once,
wave.
the only reason I was going over the language stuff, because the only reason why I chose Japanese is because it was the one farthest from the other languages, which were all Latin based, and so I wanted to do something that was different, you know. So like, well, like the manga thing that helps too, but like that.
But what about the ladies?
So
No, he said it. Just naturally
It's-
went
it
that
naturally
way.
went in that
Do you
direction.
want
So,
him
like,
to
look.
be like, hey, she saved my life, and then that's
Right,
it
right.
for me
She
forever?
held my
So-
hand.
So
she taught me martial arts.
It like I said, it just so happened that like I liked certain qualities, and they showed up in certain women that happened to be Asian mostly. Right? So I also like women who weren't Asian who had these qualities, but more of the things that I liked and found appealing to me just happened to be in certain Asian women that I found in my community. So
Because you're gonna get so much hate from the black
what
community.
what changed?
They're gonna be like,
what-
this.
No. I do sometimes, but like I don't care.
Wait, you get looks when you walk down in like at a mall?
I used to.
Like,
Really?
Yeah.
Not as much anymore now these days, because now it's like, you know, it's
I think it's
2023.
yeah.
You know, it's like
No, yeah, now it's like, I think that's the thing. Now, like, interracial dating is totally fine now. I mean,
yeah.
I'm hoping, because
Or it's
there
much
is
better.
still
It's out
stigma.
there
It's
more.
just not as much as it used to be. I would say 10 years ago. Oh yeah, I got looks all the time.
You know, the funny thing is, like, if I think when my mom first met you, she was so freaked out because she was like, "What does he eat?" She didn't know what she was like. Does he eat like rice? I was like, dude, he loves rice. Because she didn't know about you at all.
he's
So
from
she was
Shanghai.
just like, wait, can I cook him Asian food? I'm like, please do.
Yeah.
he would
I'm like,
absolutely
oh,
love it.
but no, but she was very upset that you didn't eat meat.
Oh yeah.
Because she was like, oh, my option just reduced like 5%.
Right.
But the thing is, it was so funny because she was like, can I make him fried rice? I'm like, yes, you can.
I love fried rice.
I know, it was so funny. I was like, just don't make him, fried chicken,
But-
because he actually is not gonna eat that, like, as a vegetarian.
It's like, what?
I will have watermelon though. Oh, fucks that shit up. But so funny thing about Asian culinary, my mom, I kind of blame her a little bit for this. Like I said, a lot of things in my life just kind of like ended up leading in that direction. So growing up, I learned about like kung fu and stuff like that from like kung fu movies, and my uncle would show me those things all the time. But my mom, when I was young age, taught me how to use chopsticks, because sometimes when she got back from work, she didn't have time to cook. So she would order Chinese food. And so we would all like eat Chinese food. And she was like, oh yeah, here's the chopsticks, a little cultural moment. Right. And so I learned how to use them really, really well.
Well, I'm just saying, it's like, this is one of the things is like, I think the Asian culture and the black culture have a lot of connections. There's a lot of connections that it's like, I guess Wu-Tang Clan.
Right.
And
I
like,
was gonna get into
every
that.
Chinese kid I know in middle school, would listen to rap
Right.
and like hip hop and all that stuff.
Right,
That's
right.
the cool thing.
Right,
And they're like, oh man, there's so many Chinese kids who want to be gangster. We used to call them, I don't know if I can say this. It's the N word, but with CH in front of it.
Chiga.
Oh,
Oh.
yeah.
We call
Yeah.
them chiggers.
Yeah,
Chiggers, whatever.
yeah.
Because we're just like,
Or
this
that very terrible bug that if you get bit by it, you can get Lyme disease or something.
Wait, what?
It's a thing that hangs out in like in pine forest, but that's a whole nother
but no,
topic.
I think
it's like,
there's
dude,
like
it's, yeah, that's what it was. So we had
Yeah,
that.
so
Yeah,
there's
that's
a
the term.
lot of mixing
Commonalities.
and common things between the black and Asian cultures, and they kind of we would pass each other by a lot of times. I think
Also, sorry to interrupt, but building off of that, I feel like both Asian and black males, they process trauma in a similar way. They just bury it.
yeah,
That
a
is
lot of
very
the
true.
times.
yeah.
So
Yep.
that's
Yeah.
something that we
We
have in
bury
common.
it, and we try to kind of take the load of life on ourselves. And I think that's so. Going back to what you were saying about how like a lot of Asian women would be like, I had a bad experience with a lot of Asian men, so I'm jumping ship. A lot of that is because of the traumas that they were dealing with their families and with their communities, with how a lot of Asian men weren't processing a lot of their own traumas correctly, and it would be the women get the backlash of that, right?
Yeah, they would hold it in, and then suddenly it would explode out of nowhere. I would feel like.
One of the things I really don't like about there's a whole thing about like the macho man in Asian culture, where it's like the whole like whole face thing, like you don't want to lose face. That leads Asian men to never admit they're wrong, because if they admit they're wrong, that means they were wrong before. That means they can be wrong again. They lose face and lose honor and all that stuff. It's the stupidest system I've ever seen. Because like
I agree.
How can you learn and improve if you can't admit you messed up?
Right.
And like I've seen so many situations where that happens, where it's just like, especially in my parents' generation, where it's like the guy just would go to his grave never admitting that he made a mistake. It would have been so much easier for everybody involved if he was like, oh, I messed up here. Like let's change our direction where we're going. Let's change methods or whatever. But he would die doing the wrong thing because he can never admit that what he did was wrong. And that a lot of times translates into, you insecurities, you translates into like just like stubbornness. It translates into a lot of things and like not good to your woman, to your girlfriend, to your wife, and all that stuff.
I see some of that stuff even kind of pervasive, like in like further things, like in government and jobs and stuff like that. Like it's like
absolutely, because it's the whole like you're talking about like patriarchy and whatever. This whole like I think it might have come from like Confucianism or like
Confucianism
Taoism
or Taoism,
like, whatever. It's like the man must be the head of the family and they must like whatever.
I just know that it's a
like,
Chinese cultural thing because my dad
thing, I think,
right. I think
constantly brings that up to me. It's like, you're the oldest of the family.
Right,
so
exactly.
I was like,
no, it's just...
I don't know. Maybe you should talk to my brother who's much more financially secure and,
Well, I mean, because of this, like, they don't share their feelings to anybody because they can't... If you share feelings, it means you're vulnerable, which makes you weak, which makes you lose face. It's just like literally everything that shows that you're human
right.
makes you lose face.
Yeah.
That's why all of our sisters are leaving. Going back to that.
Damn, I learned a lot just now, Tim. I would like to formally apologize to all the sisters and that one Asian girl I scoffed at the mall.
Hey, I'm not ruling out that some of them do want to date white guys just because they want to date white guys. I mean, that's also true. I'm just saying there's a spectrum of, I mean, again, like nowadays with the dating landscape, like it's not the white guys anymore. It's the over 6 feet tall guys, which is so arbitrary. But it's like it is what it is. Like they pick things that they want out of everyone.
Yeah, it's so hard to date right now. I feel like, or harder.
You know what I think? It's because think of it this way: like the online dating landscape has made males into a product, made men into a product.
Right.
And because
speaking as a app developer yourself,
right? Because imagine this, right? You are on Amazon and you have 40 different cameras you can choose from. Are you gonna choose not the best one? You're gonna go search by rating. Yeah. I want the best one. Now, the girls that are on the dating apps, they can have access to the best guy who is 6 feet, makes 6 figures, owns a house, owns a car, all that stuff, within the 20-mile radius. Right? Mm-hmm. So they are only searching by rating. They're searching for the best one. So they don't have time for Joe Schmo, who's like he's like Joseph a nice guy. Sorry, Joseph. Sorry, Joseph. Yeah. Who's a nice guy. He's he's pretty cool. He's financially secure. He's not gonna get a chance at all because like she's looking for that perfect guy because she can just swipe. Well, there you go. There it is.
You say ratings. What about like say you're compared to like Amazon?
No, I'm looking
like online store ratings, right? What about like where does reviews come into play? Is that part of it?
No,
because I'm a guy.
That is true. You read
from
the reviews.
From a shopping perspective, a lot of people ratings are easier to look at first. Like 4.5 stars. You do to restaurants too, but I like to go and read the reviews.
Okay, maybe that's not a good example. I think it's more like you can filter by a much wider filter. So like you can be like, let's say if you're looking for a camera, and like if you back in the day, you can only go to Best Buy or wherever to like whatever they had. Yeah, you get. Yeah. But like now, I want a camera that can do.
Also, like Hinge, they like have a system where they scan the photos and they group attractive people with other attractive people.
Really?
Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah. So like once you first install the app of Hinge, you automatically see like, wow, like gorgeous people, and then later on they match you with people who they think,
It's at your level.
yeah, my.
You know, that's actually.
I'm like,
not
hey,
This
I'm
is leading
kind
to
of
AI
offended.
kind of
That's not
deciding
a-
who.
I would
Yeah.
say that's not
belongs to
a
him.
bad thing, but I do think it's a little presumptuous, right? Because not everybody
Yeah.
who's looks a certain
Oh,
tier,
guys, I
so to
think
speak,
we're
is
running
going
out of
to
time.
match with another tier.
Well,
And-
we'll continue this
Yeah,
spicy discussion
this
later.
Is, this is much
This
more
is a
fun
topic that I've always wanted to talk about. But
Man,
y'all
I didn't even get
be
into the
shy
thing I
about
wanted
it.
to talk about it on
Be
the
so
same thing
caught.
too. Oh my goodness.
Well, overall, guys, trauma, it's
It's a part of our lives.
You need to like
It's something that we should all.
like realize you have issues or realize you have trauma.
you're
Come to
human.
terms
Deal with
it's
it.
okay.
Deal with it, heal it. You can't just don't deny it is the number one thing. Denial and trying to look strong and not be vulnerable is never a good thing. You realize you have issues. If you have them, you gotta fix them. You can't just like ignore until you die. That's how people die of heart attacks.
Yeah.
And, like,
being
brain tumors.
strong is facing your trauma